helps the engines break down because of all that stress on it. They don't have that problem, but they also can't keep up. So unless a lot of boats are breaking down, they're not going to be able to pull that many points. We saw that happen on Wednesday when the boats started breaking down more on Friday and Sunday. They were able to pull up fourth place today, third place the other day, end up third overall. That's what they're out here for. They want to show that, look, they may not be the biggest, they may not have, but you know what? It's affordable, and you know what? They're going to run. They're reliable. Affordable and reliable is what they are.
If you have a boat that has an oil sponsor on the side of your boat, you don't want that boat to break down, regardless. So the point is, it's reliable, it's there, and obviously when you listen to Nigel and get a chance to talk to him, he'll say it's the oil, because they've run that boat all year long on that same power. They've not changed it. It's the same engines they started with in Cocoa Beach at the beginning.
At what point you start to wonder at what point do you put even more into it? Do you put a little more power in to challenge some of these big boys? Because obviously the boat can hang. Where does the power come with it?
Well, 2015 will be a year that Team CMS will not soon forget. It's been a tremendous year for this group here, and today they finished 1-2 in the race. CMS 03 winning today, the 3 boat finishing second, but it's CMS 3 is your world champion in the Superboat Unlimited class. One more race to go, gang. Coming up at 2:30, the Superboats will take center stage. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll break it down, what we expect to see in the final race of the 2015 World Championships right here on Sports Radio 1600 WKWF. We're back in 2 minutes.
The powerboats may be racing on the water this week, but the fuel you'll need is at Fat Tuesday, where you can check out their famous 190 octane daiquiri. Fat Tuesday, home of the world's best selection of frozen drinks. 18 frozen daiquiri machines. You'll be sure to feel the New Orleans. Let the good times roll attitude. And don't worry, they have a full liquor bar for those who prefer something a little different. Open every day from 10 until late. Fat Tuesday Key West, serving up great drinks and good times in Key West for over 20 years. In the middle of Party Central at 305 Duval Street.
Paradise Tattoo, 627 Duval, celebrating over 2 decades in Key West. Incredible ink by amazing artists awaits you at Paradise Tattoo, plus body piercing with the largest selection of body jewelry around. Paradise Tattoo is your source for necklaces, earrings, clothing, t-shirts, accessories, and more. Your island experience is not complete without a visit to Paradise Tattoo. Paradise Tattoo, 292-9110. Open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, 627 Duval. Paradise Tattoo, simply the best place to get stuck.
Since 1967, Two Friends Patio has been famous for seafood, Angus steaks, and now broiled oysters. Dine or enjoy live music in true Key West style in our covered patio or air-conditioned bar. With early bird specials from 3 to 6, happy hour from 4 to 7, and karaoke Thursday through Saturday starting at 8:30. No wonder Two Friends was a finalist for Best Restaurant and Best Mojito in the 2014 Key West People's Choice Awards. So meet your friends or make your friends at Two Friends Patio, a Key West icon since 1967, 512 Front Street.
Key West Jeep Adventures, 3424 North Roosevelt Boulevard, Key West, 305-293-3555. Roam the Keys in style, doors on or off, top, up or down. The ultimate in fun and cool Jeeps. Key West Jeep Adventures, swimsuits not included, but everything else is, from beach umbrellas to paddle boards and more, like an all-inclusive vacay on wheels. Hourly, daily, weekly rentals, and locals. Need something to roll up to the mainland? Talk to Key West Jeep Adventures about their options for you. Key West Jeep Adventures, 3424 North Roosevelt Boulevard, 293-3555.
Now, let's get back to the BoatsDirectUSA.com broadcast booth as the 2015 World Championship Offshore Powerboat races continue here on Sports Radio 1600 WKWF.
All right, so great to have you with us. It's the 35th Annual World Championship Offshore Powerboat races here in beautiful Key West on Sports Radio 1600 WKWF. The BoatsDirectUSA.com broadcast booth is where we're at, sponsored by Deep Impact Custom Boats. Choose your favorite colors now. Simply log on to BoatsDirectUSA.com. Rick Lopez along with Clay Ratcliffe, Joey Cook. One race to go. The Superboats will take center stage coming up here at 2:30. Joey Cook, I put it to you. Anybody's race coming up here at 2:30.
Absolutely. We've seen it all week. It's been anybody's race. The top 5 boats on Friday were separated by 30 seconds, and for majority of the race, the top 6 boats were separated by 15 seconds for the first half of the race the other day. So it's really anybody's race. It's the largest fleet So it's really anybody's championship. As we see how the points can shift, this one has even a bigger discrepancy from top to bottom. So just because you're in the lead right now, just because your WHM, Billy Moff, he knows how to run it. He's also the type that's not going to go out and try to kill the boat. He's going to try to go out to win the world championship. Again, anything can happen here. One bad part drops you the back, and there goes your world title expirations really quick.
And you cannot stop this race. And we saw it on Friday, a big finish for WHM Motorsports, as it looked like Sailor Jerry's AutoNation boat was going to win on Friday. And right there at the end, WHM Motorsports came up and snuck right by Sailor Jerry at the finish line.
Well, yeah, and Randy had fuel pump pressure issues. I mean, here he leads the entire fleet. He was the class of the field right into the last lap and has a fuel pump pressure issue. I mean, really? And all of a sudden had to forfeit his first place position. But this whole race, guys, is an absolute soap opera. There are so many sub-stories going on. I got a chance to talk with Chuck Brodus last night, and I said, how do you feel? From Broadco.
Right.
And I said, how do you feel about the fact that you're in third place? And he corrected me, by the way, Joey, and that was interesting. I said, it's a shame that you lost and had to go to fourth place on the race the other day because you hit the buoy. He said, no, I regained it. I took over third place. I protested, and I showed them that I had enough points by leading enough laps that even though my deficit was charged, I had enough points to go back, and he regained that position. So I said, where are you now? He said, I've been doing the math all day. He said, this is exactly where I started last year at the beginning of the last race. I was in third place in points, and
he won it.
He won it.
He won it. So they're feeling confident over at Broadco. How about Team Amsoil, Joey? Bob Teague and his crew take first place on Wednesday, drop to fifth on Friday. They're in position, though. They're here.
Anybody's in position.
Yeah, everybody is. Really,
the top five teams. You look down all the way through Cleveland Construction with your Florida champions. So they're coming in with a little bit of hardware underneath their belt, and look, they're 170 points back. But again, with the discrepancies in this class between first and last place today. Any one of these teams through the top, I would say the top 6 teams all have, 7 teams all have a legitimate shot, because you can look at it, Cleveland Construction is sitting in 7th place, but they get back up in the race. They know how to run. They ran well the other day. They get up in the mix of that. We could really turn this standings on its head here today. It's too hard to predict who's actually the favorite for the world champion.
Yeah. Clay, tell me about what Randy Swears and the crew are thinking right now at Sailor Jerry's AutoNation after they thought they had that race on Friday and then they had the fuel pump problem there at the end. Where do they stand, and what is their mindset going into the final day with Sailor Jerry's?
Interesting. He's never been quiet. I couldn't get a word out of him this morning at the driver's meeting. No. Mm-hmm. He's focused. He's in the water. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Now, you got to remember, here's a guy that's in the marine business, in the high-performance business. He has prop selection at his fingertips. He's got everything available. He knows his boat and his setup is capable of literally walking away from the field if all of his equipment will stay running, and that's what he hopes now with his fuel pump pressure issue solved. So he's out for a lead. He's out for a win. Mm-hmm. And who's to say he couldn't actually, with a win, take home a world championship?
Where's Team Steel at, gentlemen? We had the whole crew here during our first halftime report today for Steel. Third place finish or fourth place finish on Wednesday. Broke down on Friday. Had to get towed in on Friday. They want to do something here today too.
He does, and J.R. Bob Noble says, you know what? He said, our job is to be out in front, put that orange boat out in front where everybody can see it. He's going to do just that. I asked him 3 times today on his interview if, in fact, he had any special plans, and he dodged it. And I said, you know what? You don't need to be racing boats. You need to be a politician. He did a great job of dodging it. So he's got it. I think he's got something really up his sleeve on the start. The start is what's going to be incredible on this race.
All right, prediction time, guys. Joey Cook, who do you like here?
I like Broadco. I like Chuck to come out, win it, and defend his title. I think he's been, all week, I think he's been leading up to this point. He's been slowly but surely putting his boat into position, and I think this is today. He's going to leave it on the boat, on the water.
Randy Swears. I'll take, fast boats.
All right. All right, there you have it, guys. The final race of the day coming up. We'll take a quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll turn it over to our play-by-play team led by the voice of offshore powerboat racing, Stan Lane. Stay tuned in 2 minutes. Final race of the World Championships coming your way here next on Sports Radio 1600 WKWF.
Escape, unwind, refresh. It's what they do really, really well. Ocean Wellness Spa and Salon, 829 Simonton. 305-320-0500. Hair, massage, acupuncture, mani-pedis, skincare and body treatments. Ocean Wellness Spa.
Hello folks, Jack Niles from Niles Nissan in sunny Key West. Are you in the market for a new car or SUV? Let me introduce you to what I feel is the best bang for your buck, the so-called pound for pound greatest automobile in the market today. The 2015 Nissan Rogue has class-leading roominess, technology, cost, and fuel efficiency, getting an amazing 33 mpg highway. Check out Niles' great selection of the all-new Nissan Rogues on the ground, in person or online at nilesnissan.com.
We always go the extra mile at Niles.
At Sailor Jerry, we know that rum is the beverage of choice of performance boat fans, and this is race week in Key West. We make high-performance, high-proof rum. In fact, the term proof is where sailors had to prove their rum rations weren't being watered down. At Sailor Jerry, our higher proof actually holds the character and richness of our spices. It pulls everything together, making Sailor Jerry rum smoother, more powerful, and as for proof, well, give it a try. Sailor Jerry, the high-performance rum of choice.
Whether you are visiting for the races or live here on the Rock, one thing's for certain, life's too short to let hangovers, dehydration, or low energy ruin your day. Now you don't have to. Hangover Hospital is here to help and will come to you. Dependable, dedicated, and experienced medical professionals offering discreet luxury services of IV and injection therapies specifically formulated to provide amazing results and get you back on your feet again. Call 305-330-1995. Hangover Hospital.
Visit hangoverkw.com for special prices.
All right.
Now, let's get back to the BoatsDirectUSA.com broadcast booth as the 2015 World Championship Offshore Powerboat races continue here on Sports Radio 1600 WKWF.
Welcome back. It's Nancy Diamato here with Stan Lane and Tommy Saunders, and it is the 35th annual Key West World Championship race. We are down here in beautiful Key West. The day has really turned out to be not as choppy, not as bad. The weather has absolutely, I think it's calmer out here right now, gentlemen, than it was on Friday.
It's certainly calm in the inner harbors. We check out all the boats, but it is a little bit rough. It's deceivingly rough, especially when the boats get to turn number 1, headed down to turn number 2, and around turn number 2 to about a quarter of the way to our location. That's the roughest part of the course, and they have to be on their P's and Q's as they come through that area. And we are geared up, Tommy. We are getting ready, set, and almost time to go. Our last race of the day at 2:30 is scheduled for Superboats, which is the premier class for Superboat International. 9 boats will make the field, and we've had 8 all week long, but this time we will have HP Mafia. They will be in the fray. It's a father-son duo. Anthony Jason and Anthony John Smith from the Lake of the Ozarks area out in Missouri. They got a spare motor put in there, so we will have 9 boats in the Superboat class, and looking forward to that. And as you know, the points rundown is very, very tight.
Absolutely, and of course it's WHM. Team WHM has some control over their destiny here. If they can win or finish second place, they will be the points winner. They will be the world champions here in Key West. So that's easier said than done to guarantee yourself a second place or a first place against these marauders out here. They are out for blood. The rest of the other 8 boats in this field. So this is they're going to have their hands full out there today, as every boat that tries to bring home a national championship, or a world championship, I should say, has.
You got that right. WHM in the lead points-wise going for the World Championships. Team Amazon is in second place, roughly about 60 points behind. In third place is Broadco. Fourth place, Sari Jailer Auto Nation. Fifth place, Performance Boat Center. Sixth place, Steel. Seventh, Cleveland Construction. Eighth, Maritimo. And ninth, of course, HP Mafia, because this will be their first start of the week. But these boats have historically, Tommy, given us some of the closest competition over the past 3 years that we've ever seen, and that's why this class is so popular all around the world.
It really is the marquee race out here because of just the fact that it's designed to level the playing field and make the skills, the planning, the decision making of the team, the throttle man, the driver, of course, the whole team, as far as the setup of the boat goes, makes that what makes the difference. Not so much the mechanical elements, but the what's between the ears of everyone on the team is what makes for a winner out here.
Here's what the class consists of. They are catamarans, 36 feet through 46 feet in length. The longer boats, of course, would span the waves in rough water, but they would be heavier, so you got to choose what length you want. They have spec engine packages. They must weigh a minimum of 9,500 pounds. The motors can be built by anyone, which is a very nice thing, and that tends to lower the cost. They can't be any more than 510 cubic inches. They have 9.5 to 1 compression ratio, and they are redlined at 7,000 RPMs, revolutions per minute. That's the maximum RPM that they're allowed to go. So they all make roughly the same horsepower, around that 750 mark. So we're looking at 1,500 for the twin engine configurations that they all have. There you see a great shot of number 13, Steel. And you've talked extensively, Tommy, all week long with the Steel team. What are their thoughts going into this final round?
Well, definitely disappointed. That just hasn't worked out very well for them. In fact, yesterday they felt they were in a great position. They were running a strong third, about ready to take over. They felt that they could have, had the boat held up, gone ahead and taken the lead in that second race of this World Championship Series. And then they had, of course, the mishap, and it didn't come to pass. But today they can't win. They're mathematically eliminated, but they are out to win it. I mean, they would relish the role of a spoiler, as all these teams would. I mean, get in there, win. It's a race, no matter what.
Speaking of disappointments, the boat right there, I mean, you talk about the poster team for disappointments. This team was flawless in round number 2. They led from the green flag and led every single lap up until the last lap, and even halfway through that, they were just on top of the world, and all of a sudden a $5 part in their steering component broke. Of course, these boats have full hydraulic steering. A $5 part broke. They lost their steering. They got passed up by WHM with about a quarter lap left, and I mean, it was just devastating for that team. But they've got a good attitude, and they say, hey, that's racing. We'll be back and see what happens today. But he said that's the best the boat has run ever in the history of that boat.
Yeah, it looks so strong. Here's another great story. The Broadco team right here, the Broadco Racing Course, a terrible mishap at Cocoa Beach, the first event of the year-long series there. And there's some of the old genetic material from the original boat in that. Not much. Everything was either scrapped or sent back to the factory to be reconditioned. And this is their first outing since that very first event of the season, and they have run very, very well. Third place overall in points coming into today.
And they are very, very proud of the fact that that's probably the safest cockpit that is in the industry now. It's the thickest for sure. They sacrificed a little bit of added weight to do that, but it's 6 inches thick, and it's a really safe boat now. Chuck brought us, of course, from St. Clair Shores. Let me do the rundown while we have a moment. Number 4 is Cleveland Construction. It's a 38-foot skater. Ed Smith and Keith Holmes on board. 05 is Broadco. We just talked about them. Chuck Broadus and Grant Brugman. Number 5, WHM Motorsports. Billy Moff and Jay Muller. Number 11, all the way from Australia, is Maritimo. Gary Ballou and Ross Willerton on board. Number 13, Steel. Bob Noble Jr. and Mark Kowalski. Number 21, Performance Boat Center. Lance Sutton and Myrick Coyle. Number 33, Sailor Jerry Auto Nation, Danilo Zampaloni from Italy and Randy Swears. Number 69, HP Mafia, 38-foot skater. Father-son duo, Anthony Jason and Anthony John Smith on board. John's doing the throttling and Jason's doing the driving. And finally, this boat had a great run in round number 1. Number 77, Team Amsoil, with, of course, Paul Whittier and Bob Teague on board that silver skater. So a great lineup of boats. The greatest class probably in the world of offshore racing, and you see them lined up against the far wall there in the inner harbor. They are ready to go out and duke it out and do battle, and looking forward to it, Tommy.
Absolutely. The Amsoil team, you mentioned them. They were the last on your list there, but of course they were first on your list after the day's one racing. Just a great effort from Bob Teague, the legendary engine builder from out there in Valencia, California. Paul Whittier is his driver out there, and of course son John, Bob's son John, I think was the man, according to all the scuttlebutt, made the decision about which wheel to put on that thing, which propeller to put on that thing, and Bob said, okay, you're going to be the GOAT or you're going to be the hero, and it turned out perfect. So they they went with that that plan for the second day, and it didn't work out quite as well. Yet this team hanging in there, second place in overall points coming into this last, and so it's such an important race.
As the boats are headed out now, you see a good shot of number 5, WHM. That is a fairly new 40-foot skater laid up at the Skater Factory in Douglas, Michigan. It was designed with a lot of input from Billy Moff, the owner of that boat. They are headed out, some of these support boats, which gives us another chance to thank our expert medical staff. They are just the best in the world. We can't thank them enough. Captain Dave Harshfield and their crew. There's Cleveland Construction, Ed Smith from the Michigan area, and Keith Holmes. They are headed out in their skater as well. All the butterflies are starting to build up in the stomach. There's that big Maritimo boat. They like this rough water, and they were hoping for even rougher water, sort of like the Lucas Oil team. They like it big, big water.
Similar scenario.
And there's probably one of the smaller boats in the class, number 77 on the left side of your screen, Amsoil. Paul Whittier and Bob Teague headed out. And there they go, pace boats getting up on plane. Red flag is displayed and flying. Broadco starting to pick up some speed as well. They know what they have to do, Tommy. They know how to do it. It's just a matter, can they do it in synchronization? This sport, of course, so unusual. The person driving the boat, steering where it goes, does not control the ride attitude nor the speed of it. You have to work two guys as one in unison to make the boat successful, and that's why this is one of the greatest sports in the world. You see Sater Jerry's Auto Nation do a little kind of a burnout there.
Yeah, well, that's their driver, I think, with the auto racing background. Danilo Zampoloni, of course, driven the Ferraris and all the big cars and the big races in Europe, and now just totally consumed with boat racing. And he said, I came here from Italy to win. I didn't come here to finish second.
I come here to win, my friend.
I come to win, so you take a note stand. Yes.
All right, we are ready to go. We are amped up. We know you are as well, all around the world, watching us on the live stream, superboat.com, speedonthewater.com, NASCARdigital.com. Matt Trulio and his crew is here. Glad to have them alongside with us. Also glad to have all of our listeners on the airwaves, WKWF 1600 AM. And we want to tip our hats to our race control as well, Dell and Lisa, husband and wife duo in there. And our old race controls here, Pat and Dick Dietrich, they're here as well. And everybody's here. Everybody's waiting to see this class. It is the main event of the evening. As we save the best for last, although we think all of our classes are great. But this is the premier class. It was designed by John Carbonell, and it certainly panned out to, I think, be everything that he anticipated that it would be.
Absolutely. It is the premier circuit in the sport, and this is the #1 event. This is the Churchill Downs of powerboat racing right here, and we're in the middle of the Kentucky Derby, pretty much, so to speak.
I could sure use a mint julep right
now.
Well,
I'll join you for one just the minute this one's over.
HP Mafia, there you get a shot of them for the first time. I'm thinking that's Steve Page's old boat. I think somebody mentioned that to me. It's a skater.
Red flag as they work in the counterclockwise circle. Soon to get them lined up, Stan. Soon to get this thing underway. This final premier marquee event.
Red flag is displayed. Have not seen orange smoke yet. That's a big 52-foot Nortec pace boat, #1. That gives you a nice smooth cushion ride. You see all the boats looking that way. They look that way as long as they can. They finally they got to turn to port and continue to circle. They're just dying. It's like a pack of dogs, a pack of wolves wanting to attack something.
Somebody wants to make that first move. The Broadco boat there, that will be your defending champion. They were your 2014 world champions, and had some huge setback this year and lost out on most of the regular season. But they are rebuilt and rededicated and ready to take that trophy again if they can, and there is a scenario by which they can do it. We'll talk about that a little later.
If you are just joining us for this third and final round, I want to mention to you that John Carbonell has inked. The contracts are signed. We will have 2 new races next year added to our normal schedule. One will be in Mentor, Ohio on Lake Erie. It's going to be run by Mark Small, who runs a lot of our support boats and does a great job for us. We appreciate all he does for us. And the other will be on Long Island. Billy Moff will be running that. And looking forward to going up to the New York area since we don't race on the Hudson River anymore. Looking forward to going back up to Long Island and Billy Moff's race next year. I think it's going to be the same weekend that the New York race was, which is the anniversary of 9/11.
Very good. It's Billy Moff, the man in the spotlight today. I mean, he's got his fate in his own hands right there. The WHM boat ready to go, and they've had a good go of it so far, a first and a second.
There's Billy Moff right there, and we will be in Port Jefferson, Long Island. There's a James Bond yacht back there behind us.
It sort of is. Nice.
Shaken, not stirred.
Everybody shows up for this event. You know that.
I tell you what, the water conditions have really gotten a lot more docile now since the last race. It looks almost calm as we look down into turn number 3 as we see the yellow flag now displayed. Okay, anticipation is nearly at an end now. It is almost time to go racing. This is it. This is for what they come here for. They plan all year for this. Will you be a world champion? It's all in your hands if you've got the throttle, and it's in your hands if you have the steering wheel. These guys are going to be so busy. They're putting their lives on the line. It's a dangerous sport, but we make it as safe as we possibly can, and they're up on plane right now. Yellow flag is displayed. They're getting lined up evenly. Look at 9 boats. What a beautiful, phenomenal sight that is. As these guys are ready to go racing, yellow flag is flying. Let's check them out as they line up nice and even here. Getting ready to watch them for the green flag. Yellow still, yellow still. All right, green flag, here we go. We are going racing. Superboat style. Hammer down, gentlemen. Take it off. Headed up to turn number 1. It's Steele, Tommy. Steele with a little bit of a lead. WHM closest to us. He's coming up very, very fast as well. It's a battle right now for first and second. WHM catching up to Steele. They are side by side as they head out to turn number 1.
Well, the odds makers, if they were making odds on this race, would have to put it on WHM. They have had the best track record so far this weekend throughout the season. They are US 1, the national champions as well, and showing how they got there early on in this final event of the year.
Performance Boat Marine cut across some wakes. You saw him get very upset there. Stood that nose well up in the air. You want to stay out of that turbulated, rough water. Look at this, side by side as they go into turn number 1. And now the sun kind of peeking through and make it very, very glary for these racers to see as well as for us. But on the inside, controlling the line, he's, well, I guess Steele put a little bit far ahead, so maybe he can control it. I can't really tell. It's kind of a...
It gets compressed that far away from our position here.
But it looks like Steele with a little bit of a lead. He's on the outside. And now, in fact, WHM. Uh-oh, had a roll. We have a boat upside down in turn 1, upside down. Medical is being deployed as we speak. We don't know who they are yet. We'll let you know as soon as we find out. They were so close, battling for 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th place in there. A lot of wash. It is HP Mafia. It's the father-son team, their first lap. I hate to see that, the first lap of their first race with us. But the race continues on. It's WHM with a slight lead as they head down to turn number 2. We'll let you know their condition as soon as we hear about it from race control. Ooh, it looks rough out there, Tommy.
Oh, yeah, down at that end, it's not the same as it is where our position here in WHM, trying to hang on to that lead, carving inside there. That's a great sight right there.
They are both out. They seem to be A-OK.
Anthony John Smith, Anthony Jason Smith. Oh, man, good to see that Missouri team up and on their feet, even though the boat is upside down.
Look at these 40-foot boats, Tommy, leaving the water. It's getting big out there, so deceiving. It looks pretty benign to us. Steele just caught a chine and went off to their starboard hard and scrubbed a lot of speed and lost a little bit of position. But right now, your leader, WHM, and side by side, who's coming up? I think that might be Amsoil coming up. I can't really tell yet.
Amsoil wants in on this scrum. That is for sure. Steele, WHM, and now Amsoil has joined the fray. Oh, is it Cleveland?
It is Cleveland.
It is Cleveland.
And they're making a pass by WHM. Oh, my goodness. And Steele's in the fray as well. Look at this battle.
Cleveland Construction coming from back of the pack in terms of points there. Another team like Steele, who could be a spoiler today.
Steele's sucking in a lot of water right now in the middle. He needs to get out of that position, get some clean water. Now it appears he's found some clean water. And look how nicely they're racing. They're spreading out for each other, giving everybody plenty of berth as they go through there. WHM with the inside lane as he usually likes to have it. Let's make sure everybody gets through this line clean. Now, as they head up to turn number 1, they'll have to give a wide berth around that incident.
Still got a mishap site down there between 1 and 2. Sailor Jerry not performing up to standards today. They may have been involved in that. We'll have to take a look at the replay later.
Your leader as they head out to turn number 1, WHM, Jay Muller, Billy Moff. They are your points leader as well. Are they thinking World Championship yet? Are they just concentrating on getting that boat through this course safely?
Absolutely. That first or second will net them the World Championship, so they know what they have to do. It's just getting it done. It's going to be the problem.
But on their tail is Steele. a Skater 388, orange and white in color. And look, he looks like he's closing down on him. He may have some top end speed on that WHM boat.
Yeah, Bob Noble took that boat out and worked it out this morning. They'd had the trouble with it all week long, took it out, and it looked and sounded great.
And Cleveland Construction in a very solid, very close third place. They're making their way out now, getting close to turn number 1. We'll see if we what the incident looks like as they get out there. Look at how the water roughs up, and they call that the wall, and I think today it is indeed the wall.
Hitting it right now, that's for sure. WHM managing to hang on to the reins right there, carve the front position.
You see the yellow flag on the pace boat, which means caution coming through this area, and you see the boats appear to be slowing down somewhat. I see the bow of HP Mafia. It's beyond the actual track, so they probably have put a hook on it and pulled it out there out of the way. But it is indeed this boat right here, WHM, as he takes a trouncing going from 1 to 2. That big 40-foot skater looking good, but they're paying the price. Going through that rough water, setting up now for turn number 2. Nancy, what lap we on?
We are only working on lap number 2, Stan.
We have been action-packed
We've had so
far.
much action
That is
in
for
one
sure.
lap.
If you just joined us, the HP Mafia team in the first lap, mishap there, the boat upside down, but happy to report that Anthony John Smith and Anthony Jason Smith both out of that boat, up and on their feet.
All right, coming around turn number 2 now is your leader, number 5, a 40-foot skater, WHM. There you see a good shot of how that catamaran packs that air between those twin hulls. He swung way wide, carried some speed, still making that turn as we speak. Look at that. He is really wide. Perhaps they think it's a little smoother over there towards the shore because the water is more shallow over there.
Well, he's not going to back down. He told us that. There's no lack of being aggressive out there in the cards for this team today. Of course, they're not going to go out of their way to find trouble either. Because they can bring this thing home today.
Good point. You see some of our sold-out spectator crowd all along the outer mole. As number 5 goes blistering by. And it's Cleveland Construction now in second place. Looking for steel. They were in second place the last time we saw WHM. We'll keep a keen eye out for steel, Tommy.
Well, they have had a real drop in their fortunes. They had
do
right
not
in the
see
thick of it.
There
yes,
they are.
Steel.
But it's Performance Boat Center. They got ahead of steel as well. Here comes Broadco, and here comes Amsoil.
Broadco, Amsoil, Sailor Jerry, 3 teams you expected to do very well, be up in the thick of it, still hanging back in the pack so far today. What their stories are, we'll continue to work on that, try to figure out what's going on with those 3 teams.
Yeah, Sailor Jerry Auto Nation did not sound good when they went by us the first time. And as you said, Tommy, they may have been involved in that incident. Going through the turn now, the inner harbor. Everybody being very, very safe. You know, when you see a boat barrel roll it like that, one up upside down, it kind of reality check. You know, hey, let's maybe not go quite so hard. Just, you know, is it worth it? Broadco now accelerating out of turn number 3, raising those drives, raising the tabs, getting that boat aired out. You want to reduce the wetted surface, get all the speed you possibly can. There's your leader. Number 5, WHM Motorsports. Look on this transom, Tommy. Cleveland Construction really having a great race today. Running down WHM as they head up to turn number 1. Look at the speed of Cleveland Construction. Unbelievable.
These teams are not going to let Billy Moff and company get away with this so easily. He's going to have to fight off one boat after another, apparently, throughout the 9 3/4 laps we are scheduled for today.
Ed Smith, Keith Holmes from Michigan. Looking good, doing that state proud as they pass WHM, and they take the inside line on turn number 1. Look at this. Rounding our turn boat now, that work boat, and now they'll make their way down between 1 and 2. Let's see how this plays out, Tommy. It's a very, very rough part of the course. It looks like they're maintaining their lead, their distance. Sailor Jerry's coming by.
Jerry, way behind the rest of the pack there, and they are not going to be a factor unless things change dramatically and unexpectedly.
There they go right there. You see a shot of them there, seem like about maybe 60% power right there. But they'll go as long as they can, as far as they can, to get the maximum amount of points, because you don't know if other guys will even finish.
Right.
There's your leader, number 4, Cleveland Construction, Skater 388. Well, I heard the crowd yell. I don't know. We're not seeing anything on the screen. You've got Cleveland Construction on your right, going through the slop right there. You see those twin hulls landing and like tracking and pulling the boat from side to side.
It's kind of like controlled chaos out there when you're
is.
trying to get through a situation like that. Stan, WHM hanging in there in second place. If they can stay in that position, stuck in second, they will win the World Championship.
A great battle for first place, but right now here is your current leader, number 4, coming by us, Cleveland Construction. Just behind WHM. These boats running the same laps as Superboat Unlimited. It's 9 3/4 laps, 43 miles on this 4.5-mile course. Here comes third place, Performance Boat Center. Just behind them is Steele. Steele seems to be back in it now pretty good. And then Amsoil comes by as well.
Amsoil team, our winner the first day of these 3 days of racing in Key West. The Broadcoat team are defending champions, trying to hang in there, not performing as well as they have.
And there goes Maritimo behind Broadcoat, Tommy. That boat all the way from Australia. That boat was a surface piercing drive boat, sort of like Arneson's. They had to take those off to fit the parameters of the class. They put number 6s on there. They've been experimenting with the X dimension. They don't have it right yet. Gary Ballou told me that's why the boat is off the pace a little bit. They're going to send it back to Australia as soon as this race is over, and they're going to re-rig it. And they're going to bring it back and race every race with us next year. We're excited about that.
Cleveland Construction out front. There's the bunch chasing them right there.
Looks like Steele might be putting a move on Performance Boat Center. There they are. They are putting a move on them, getting by. Look at that blistering acceleration right there. Very, very impressive. Mark Kowalski and J.R. Noble, they lost some valuable ground that last lap, but now they're making it back up, Tommy.
Well, you called it right. They sounded a whole lot better the last time they passed our position right here, and they're showing that they're working fine right now.
Headed out to turn number 1. Extremely glary sun popping through the heavily leaden clouds we've had all day. Winds have not picked up at all, but apparently the water just getting very, very rough. It's hard to read, I was told by several racers. It's just every which way, especially around turn number 2 and coming out of it. Wow, they are major league backlit, but we'll do the best we can to call it.
Started with 9 boats today. We're down to 8 right now with the exit in dramatic fashion of the HP Mafia team. Did a roll around that boat upside down, but both of the occupants in good shape as we understand it right now.
I did speak with race control, and they are both up and fine. They're just waiting on to bring the boat in.
Nice to hear.
Very good.
There is your leader, Cleveland Construction, number 4. On the, it looks like Sailor Jerry's getting ready to get lapped by Cleveland Construction. Sailor Jerry's has a mechanical issue going on, but they're giving our race leader plenty of berth as he gets by on the inside. Coming through turn number 2 now. Boy, look at the water conditions. This looks really nasty out there.
Yeah, it is rougher, way rougher down there.
Yeah, it's big.
Only a 4.5-mile course in a triangle, basically. It's amazing how different it can be one end to the other, but we are seeing it right now.
Yeah, they are paying the price out there for this race, but they know that in order to be world champions, you have to sacrifice. You have to go all out. No tomorrow, gentlemen. This is it. And it's going to be accomplished in just a few laps. It's a sprint. It's an all-out sprint. You can't relax for a second. There they go, our leader, Cleveland Construction. 38 feet of skater, leading 40 feet of skater, WHM.
WHM is about a 7-second deficit behind Cleveland Construction right there.
And third place is Steele, and he's picking up speed.
Steele having busted back into the top 3. Steele out of it as far as points as World Championship goes, but still trying to hang in there.
Amsoil 4th place now, Tommy. They got past Performance Marine.
Amsoil, the team with the best shot at winning a World Championship if they can win this race. Even if they can finish 2nd, they have a possibility of winning this race depending on how the rest of the field shakes out.
Maritimo hanging in there very, very nicely as well. The rougher this course gets, the more it's going to benefit that boat. Definitely set up for rough water. And there's WHM, currently in 2nd place. Boy, if I'm not mistaken, Tommy, Cleveland Construction has put a little bit of a distance between themselves.
They are.
Man,
to win it today, there's no question about that. Cleveland Construction.
Broadco's coming off.
Broadco, not good.
Broadco headed in.
So it won't be a repeat victory unless something very dramatic happens. The Broadco team who won it in 2014, now take it in toward the cranes, toward the pits area.
Sorry to see that completely re-rigged boat had a problem today. We have a storm off to our right. I hope it stays out there, doesn't come over us. But right now we got a hazy track, and it's not that rough until you get out just past turn number 1. But between turn 1 and just past 2, it is brutal. Headed out towards the wall, Tommy, right now to turn number 1.
That was Amsoil. Here's WHM. WHM with a first and a second place finish over the 2 races that have been contested so far this week. Certainly putting themselves into position to win, and if they can get first or second, hey, they are untouchable.
They're working on their 5th lap of 9 3/4 lap, gentlemen.
Boy, you need some polarized lenses to race out there in this stuff, don't you? Look at that.
Really tough visual conditions today. You got some glare, some sunshine, you got clouds, you got mist on the water.
You got the tide coming in, the tide going out, the current, the hole over there. Yeah.
These guys will tell you, hey, our visibility in our boats is good. I look at the boats and I say, you see a little slice of life out of those 2 windows right there. How can you say that you see all these things?
Coming through the big wash right now is our leader, number 4, Cleveland Construction. Ed Smith, Keith Holmes. Keith Holmes, of course, raced his race boat, Cat Can Do, for many, many years successfully. These guys make a great team. Ed used to race with his son, Sean, but now he's got Keith Holmes in there manning the throttle sticks. 38-foot skater, twin 750, Ilmore power, and they are looking good. Got those Merc number 6 drives. They are spinning it up today. And I tell you what, they must have borrowed the props that Sailor Jerry's Auto Nation had in round 2.
That could be one possible explanation there. Some good detective work there, Stan. And you think, what happened? I mean, they are settling into first place like they belong there, like they live there, yet they've got an 8th place on their card this week. They've got another high finish. They were low in points.
Look at this battle, Tommy. Side-by-side Steel has caught up, and they're getting past WHM right in front of us.
Boy, WHM not running as well as they were at the start of this race by any means.
Oh, huge smiles on the face of Mark Kowalski and JR as they get past WHM and take a solid second place. That puts WHM in 3rd and Amsoil in 4th place now. Things are really starting to get interesting, getting dicey. Things are switching around. Things happen rapidly in the world of offshore. They go through the turn number 3.
Well, the Amsoil boat is the boat that the WHM team needs to keep an eye on there. If they can overtake WHM, get up into that 2nd position and get a couple more in between them and WHM, could be an Amsoil victory. Points-wise, could be a world championship for the Amsoil team, which won on day 1.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this all plays out. Stay here with us. You do not want to miss 1 second of this race. This is awesome. Steel now trying to run down our current leader. It's going to be a tall order to do because Cleveland Construction is just on rails today out there, and they found some power and obviously the correct prop selection, and that puts WHM in 3rd place right now. You see a good shot of them as they head past that giant yacht rocket.
WHM losing ground consistently to Steel as we go through their Steel, of course, out of it, acting as a spoiler today, and they are certainly making the day of Billy Moff and the WHM crew a little bit harder to chew.
Making them nervous.
Oh, man, I'll say.
Bob Teague, Paul Whittier headed out. You see that Amsoil boat, shortest boat in the fleet, but they seem to be handling these rough water conditions very, very well today. They look like they're putting a move on WHM as well. Sailor Jerry's still out there, but not up to full song, obviously.
No, having a rough day of it there, and they were in a position they could have had a couple of scenarios by which they could have snatched the world title away, but it's not looking very likely at this point.
Yeah, the engines sound a little rough, a little ragged. On the back stretch now between turn 1 and 2. Oh.
It's the excitement of getting towards the round at the turn 2 is what it is, guys.
Yeah. We're having to watch the monitor, and so we are missing some of the action that our fans are seeing and responding to.
Around turn 2 comes our leader, Cleveland Construction, holding it together, keeping a good, healthy distance amongst 2nd place now, ahead of 2nd place now.
Could be very interesting to see where Team Steel is in the mix as they come through, see if they've gained any ground on our leader, Cleveland Construction. That's Steel on the left of your screen right there.
2nd place.
Look at the pounding these boats are taking as they go through that sloppy area. Here they come right now. Your leader Steel, number 4, Cleveland Construction. Nancy D, give us the amount of time between. There they go right now.
Cleveland Construction.
About 8 seconds?
About
8 seconds.
At least that far ahead of Steele, which is solidly in second place, and there's WHM.
Amsoil picking up the pace. Can they run down WHM? That is what is on their menu right now. They are trying to order.
If they can pull that off, that changes the whole complexion of this race, that and what happens immediately after that. Amsoil can climb up into second place. WHM falls back a spot or two. Hey, we got a big-time points shakeup.
I can't tell you how critical these turns are for all these teams. You do not want to spin it. You do not want to lose any points, any real estate. Look at this battle between Maritimo and Performance Boat Center. They look like they're headed in abreast as they head down into the Inner Harbor turn. Side by side. Two big boats flat out. And now you see Performance Boat Center peel off to the right a little bit, giving Maritimo plenty of berth as they go through, allowing them to choose a lane because they're on the inside.
Lap number 7 of 9 3/4 laps. We are getting close to the tail end of this race in a fast way. WHM has seen their sure thing slip away. They're still, as it stands right now, still in line to take the points title, but who knows what can happen in 2 3/4 laps, or right now about 2 laps.
And now an acceleration contest between the boat on your left, Performance Boat Center, and Maritimo. Maritimo heavier and did not have the acceleration out of the turn, but where Maritimo takes over is from 1 to 2 in that rough water. They've been catching a lot of boats, but then they lose them on the smoother water portions of the race.
Much like we saw with Geico in the previous race there, the same sort of principle at work there.
Same scenario, exactly. Sailor Jerry's between 1 and 2, half speed right now. But let's swing back and as they head down to turn number 2. We'll pick up our leaders here momentarily. There they are right there. Looks like getting ready for some action up there. They're getting very, very close. Look at them, dicing it out. I think that's Steele and WHM, isn't it, Tommy? They're backlit right now, but
hard to say. I believe you're right. Steele trying to run down WHM.
Oh, it's getting close. Almost side by side now as they head down to turn number 2. Now that's Amsoil and somebody.
Amsoil 77 trying to pass WHM. Now it gets interesting. Now it gets kind of dicey points-wise.
They are side by side as they head into turn number 2. Bob Teague, Paul Whittier have the inside line. Let's see how tight they try to carve it. WHM carrying the speed, going a little wide. Let's see how this plays out for each team. Which one was the better line?
Cleveland Construction still with the lead. Approaching our position right here. Strong, strong effort all day long.
Yeah, boat
very
sounds
first
good.
lap they took over.
High-strung engine sound, and here comes Steele, second place. They got that boat trimmed high.
Here we go. Somebody is.
It's WHM.
Fast, WHM.
Amsoil on this transom.
Well, there's a strong race right there. That is a dual supreme.
Now, WHM is far enough ahead of Amsoil. Should he want to get over and take the inside line, he can legally.
Well, that's usually his MO, is to carve this as inner a line as he possibly can, especially around the tough turns. Let's see what he does here.
Let's check this out because Amsoil's on the inside. Let's see what happens as they get to the buoy.
What a great shot. Look at that.
Yeah, he had to run through the wake. Amsoil did, but got through very, very nicely and safely. Now, burying the throttles and coming out of that, hammering down out of that turn and headed back out to turn 1. Here comes Performance Boat Center. They were having a good battle with Maritimo the last time we saw them. Do not see Maritimo right now, but we'll watch for him.
7 laps down in the 8th of 9 3/4 laps, the total distance of this race.
There you see the commanding lead of our leader right now in Superboat. That is Cleveland Construction. So far, nothing can touch them. They just took a big bounce right there. They hit a roller and got about 3 seconds of air time. It came down nicely. Just caught a quick view of HP Mafia. It looked like they had righted it and it was being towed in. Another great battle once again between Amsoil and WHM. Amsoil on the inside trying to come up and get far enough up beside him to take the line, but no, it looks like WHM is still far enough ahead. They control.
Right now they're working on 8 laps of 9 3/4, so they don't have much much time left.
Absolutely. WHM came into this with a points lead and, of course, a prospect of finishing first or second, and you've got it made. They are now behind 2 other boats, but those are 2 other boats that do not have a chance to take it away from WHM. Amsoil, if they could somehow jump up and win this thing, they might be in a position to do it if WHM stays down below second place.
I think I just, excuse me, Tommy, just saw Maritimo off plane. They're still moving, but obviously had a problem. I'm pretty sure that was them headed towards us, but looks like they're out of the race.
All right, that will be our second boat out of the race, out of the 9 who started today and some others who are having obvious troubles. No trouble for Cleveland Construction.
Ooh, taking a little bit of a bounce there, but coming down nicely. Rough part of the course right there. Got to be aware, got to maintain your line and try to keep those 2 sponsons headed straight ahead. Don't want to get crooked. If you come down on one sponson, it can upset the geometry of the boat and sends you off in a bad course.
Yeah, absolutely. What they call a tripping maneuver, and you don't want that.
There they go, looking good. Number 4. Can they hold on? Can they maintain that lead? Steele in second place.
Steele having their race of the week, absolutely. This final race, they've saved it all for last, apparently, and WHM in a position right now. If they can maintain that, they will wind up the world champions on the points-wise. There's their spoiler, potentially, but not much time left for Amsoil.
Amsoil in 4th place right now as they head down to complete another lap and head towards the inner harbor. Coming out nice and cleanly is Cleveland Construction one more time. You know that throttle and driver are talking to each other constantly in there. Keith Holmes and Ed Smith saying, let's just keep it together. And Steele. Last year, if you recall, Tommy, they stood that boat straight up in the air at almost a 90-degree angle, sheared off one of their drives.
Yeah, that unforgettable shot of the boat up on the crane with the drive hanging off the big tie rod there was just to make you sick to look at.
They've been chasing gremlins all year. Such a class act, that team. While we have a second, let me thank you once again for joining us on the live stream around the world, superboat.com, speedonthewater.com, and NASCARdigital.com. Also on the radio, WKWF 1600 AM. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching the biggest and fastest race boats in the world. Duke it out for the World Championships presented by Geico 2015. Nice to have you along with us for this very, very fast liquid ride.
Well, the meat of the lineup heading in through turn number 1. We saw a shot of the Amsoil boat there, which had been dueling it out with Billy Moff and the WHM team. They've slid back just a little bit now, and Billy Moff looking good for 3rd place, which with the lineup of the boats ahead of him would be good enough.
Billy Moff and Jay Muller crave rough water. They like it bigger the better for them. And still out there, still duking it out. Sailor Jerry, but so well off the pace. Don't know what the problem is. The motors don't sound real bad, but there's obviously a problem that they've cut their power down to about half, unless they're just nursing it for some other thing we don't know about. But obviously they're going to try to complete the race, complete all their laps.
Boy, they had that second race in hand until the very last turn. It was just a really hard thing to watch, race number 2.
Coming around nice and cleanly is your leader, Cleveland Construction. As the laps wind down, as they pull the lap tape off their dashboard, they look at it and think, just one more. Can we do it? Can we keep this thing together? It's where you start hearing noises and you get scared in this one. You can stand it up and almost stuff it. Anything can happen any second in this sport.
And at a spot where we really haven't seen that happen yet.
You just cannot be complacent whatsoever in this sport. Steele stood it up pretty good too back there. We haven't mentioned it in this race, but the water bounces off this big concrete wall here and bounces back and into the race course, and those big rollers can certainly upset a boat too.
Big time oscillation. WHM and Billy Moff have been trying very hard to hold off the Amsoil team and gotten a little gain on them, and now Amsoil seems to be roaring back, but only 3/4 of a lap remaining.
Look at Steele. Steele really is trying to close down the gap. Look at that. They're doing a great job. They are working that boat feverishly, trying to catch their leader, and it looks like to me that they've gained some ground on them, Tommy.
Absolutely. They're going to determine to end this season on a good note, leave with a good taste in their mouth from down here at Key West. It's been a difficult season for them, but boy, they have hung tough. They never quit. There's no quit in them.
These guys will be sore and they'll be worn out and frazzled from this. You are just totally keyed up 100% of the time when you're inside these boats going at these speeds, and you're taking the pounding and the adrenaline is rushing. It totally just wipes you out.
Yeah, once the adrenaline goes down, I imagine you are a rag doll when you finish one of these races.
Still narrowing the gap even more as we speak as they head out to turn number 1.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, we got trouble. That boat right there, it's been towed in, the Mafia boat.
Yeah, they need to keep it moving.
HP Mafia taking on a lot of water. Yeah, of course, now our crew's out of it. That's the good news.
Yeah, they're hooked up to fast response. That they have pumps on there. But look out here between turn 1 and 2. There you get a good shot of HP Mafia. I don't see any bilge pumps on that.
Yeah, they're taking on water big time.
Need to get it moving. All right, now let's get back to action. Whoa! Cleveland Construction stood it up, and they got some major airtime. You know they're watching their mirrors in the back, and they're trying to give it everything they can. They want to.
If they were watching their mirrors, they saw Steele get the same thing. That was a rough spot right there.
Stood at almost about a 45-degree angle. Not like the 90 we had last year, but pretty enough to get your attention, certainly.
How about that gutsy inside car by the Steele team right there amid all that trouble out there trying to somehow close this thing down and wind up on top. They're going to have to battle it out with Cleveland Construction. I don't think they're going to make it, Stan.
Cleveland Construction cutting back now. Whoa, letting it all hang out, taking some air, flying about 20, 30 feet before they came back down. On the inside of them is Steele, hammering down as hard as they possibly can on that Skater 388. And the checkered flag is waiting. Number 4, Cleveland Construction takes it. A checkered flag. Flawless race, gentlemen. Good job. Right on their transom is Steele, number 13, going by. One more lap, Tommy, and Steele would have run them down.
Absolutely.
Certainly.
They had cut the deficit to 3 seconds and change in that final 3/4 lap right there. And here the team that started with the top points, and they're going to wind up with the top points and the World Championship, WHM, on the way.
Billy Moff, Jay Muller, number 5 from New Jersey and New York. Looking good, boys. Congratulations, WHM. Amsoil coming in. Great race for Amsoil as well. Paul Whittier, Bob Teague. They ran that little skater very, very hard today. Wow, that was exciting.
Fantastic racing, and WHM came in second place last year. Been waiting for this day all year long.
Sailor Jerry's persevered. They lasted. There's the hatch coming up on WHM.
Yeah, we'll follow these guys back in all the way to the cranes. Let the celebration begin for them.
It's been a great week for this team. Billy, of course, stood up at the drivers' meeting and announced his race next year. So he's not only a racer, but he's a race promoter. He's going to be wearing many hats. Tremendous guy. He's been in this sport for decades and decades. And
he took us way back in time the other day. He said, "Listen, I'm gonna tell you some things you're not going to believe," and named some names and told some stories that, oh my goodness, what a history in this sport.
Should stay quiet for right now, Tommy.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. He's probably right.
He's from Long Island.
Coming across the start-finish line right now, Performance Boat Center number 21. Nice job, gentlemen. Jimmy John's one of their sponsors as well. Had some very exciting racing today.
That is our race.
Cleveland Construction, man, that boat, that's the best I've seen that boat run in a long time. They really had that thing dialed in. They had it propped correctly, and you have to be very, very proud. Give them a pat on the back.
Absolutely. Our Race 3 champions. Can't take that away from them.
Stop by the dry pits on your way out and congratulate these teams and share in their exuberance of just finishing a great race. And we appreciate everybody being here for the 2015 World Championships presented by Geico. We had some great racing. And Nancy D. and Tommy Sanders, always a pleasure to work alongside you, and always a pleasure to work with the radio station and our live stream, of course, our great audience. Look forward to seeing you all next year. And once again, just thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys. It was an incredible race. The last race definitely made it worthwhile to stay here all day. Thank you, Stan Lane. You are the best. You are definitely
He's the man.
voice. He is the man. And Tammy Saunders, it's always great to see you every year when you
too,
come on
Nancy.
down
You're
to Key
brilliant.
West.
You know more about racing in Key West than any human that I know
I
of.
do not.
Oh, yes,
I
you
just
do.
know how to count laps.
You saw it all. You lived it all.
I know how to count laps, and that's
you,
the most
you are
important
that.
thing.
You are a math genius.
As we're still sitting here and looking on the live stream.
Oh, yeah,
at,
still some
they've
concern out
gotta
there.
get
You don't want
boat
that thing-
going.
you don't want that
It's
thing
just
going to the
going
bottom.
down on Mafia. It's so sad to hear that.
Ugh.
But as we continue on here, we're going to complete the last race of the day. It is Superboat in number 1 position. That is Cleveland Construction number 4, followed by Steel number 13. WHM Motorsports coming in 3rd. And we have Team Amsoil number 77 in 4th. Bringing it up with Performance Boat Center number 21. And everyone else, Broadco, Sailor Jerry, HP Mafia did flip, but both of them are okay, and the boat is as well as could be expected, and Maritimo also dropping out. So we want to thank you so much for coming on down and joining us live with the 15th Annual Key West World